Life will test you. It will knock you down. It will challenge everything you believe about yourself. Relationships will end. Plans will fall apart. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change without warning. And in those moments, only one thing determines whether you rise or stay down: your mental strength. Welcome back, seekers of resilience. Most people think mental strength is something you're born with. Either you have it or you don't. But Buddha taught something completely different. He taught that mental strength is like a muscle. It can be built. It can be trained. It can be developed through consistent practice until you become truly unbreakable. Today I'm going to share 10 Buddhist teachings on how to build mental strength so powerful that nothing life throws at you can keep you down. Not just for a day or a week, but permanently. These aren't just motivational concepts. These are proven practices that Buddhist monks have used for thousands of years to develop minds that can endure anything. Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." Mental strength isn't about waiting to feel strong. It's about building strength through action, through practice, through consistent choices that forge an unbreakable mind. Are you ready to become mentally unbreakable? Let's begin. Lesson 1. Mental strength is built, not born. The first truth you must understand: mental strength is not a personality trait you're born with. It's a skill you develop. Buddha himself wasn't born enlightened. He was a prince who had never faced difficulty. But through deliberate practice, through choosing to sit with discomfort, through training his mind, he became one of the strongest human beings who ever lived. There's a powerful story about this. A young monk came to his master feeling defeated. "Master, I'm weak. When difficulties arise, I crumble. Others seem naturally strong, but I wasn't born with that strength. I'll never be like them." The master took him to the monastery's training ground, where another monk was practicing with a heavy wooden staff. "Watch him," the master said. The young monk watched as the older monk moved the staff with ease, executing complex movements effortlessly. "He makes it look so easy," the young monk said. "He's naturally talented." The master smiled. "Come with me." He led the young monk to a storage room filled with training staffs of different weights. He picked up the lightest one. This is where he started. 15 years ago, he could barely lift this. Every day he practiced. Every day he trained. Gradually he moved to heavier staffs. What you see now isn't natural talent. It's 15 years of daily practice. The young monk understood. "So mental strength is the same?" "Exactly," the master replied. "Every time you face a difficulty and choose not to run, you're lifting a heavier weight. Every time you experience discomfort and stay present, you're building strength. Every time you feel fear and act anyway, you're training your mind. Mental strength is built through consistent practice, not given at birth. This is crucial to understand. If you believe mental strength is something you either have or don't have, you'll never develop it. But when you understand it's a skill built through practice, everything changes. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every difficulty becomes training. Every uncomfortable moment becomes a rep in your mental gym. So stop comparing yourself to people who seem naturally strong. You're seeing the result of their training, not their starting point, and you have access to the same training. Start where you are. Practice with the weight you can handle, and gradually, consistently, you'll build strength you never imagined possible. Buddha taught, drop by drop is the water pot filled. Your mental strength is built the same way, one choice at a time. One difficulty faced at a time, one uncomfortable moment endured at a time. This is how you become unbreakable. Lesson 2. Accept what you cannot change. Buddha taught that suffering comes from resistance to reality, and most mental weakness comes from fighting battles you cannot win. Mentally strong people don't waste energy resisting what they cannot change. They accept it, adapt to it, and focus their energy on what they can control. There's a story about two students studying under the same master. A severe drought came to their region. Crops failed, water became scarce. The first student spent his days complaining. "This isn't fair. Why is this happening? It shouldn't be this way. If only it would rain." He was miserable, weak, unable to function. The second student acknowledged the drought. "Yes, this is difficult. Water is scarce. Crops have failed. This is the reality we're facing." Then he asked, "What can I do within this reality?" He organized water collection systems. He helped find alternative food sources. He adapted his garden to drought-resistant plants. Same situation, completely different response. The master gathered both students. Do you see the difference? The first student uses all his energy fighting what is. He's exhausted before he even begins to solve problems. The second student accepts what is, then focuses his energy on what he can actually influence. This is mental strength, not denying reality but accepting it as the starting point for action. Mentally weak people fight reality. This shouldn't have happened. It's not fair. Why me? They waste energy on what cannot be changed. Mentally strong people practice radical acceptance. This happened. I don't like it, but it's real. Now what can I do? This doesn't mean you approve of everything. It means you stop fighting facts. Your relationship ended. That's a fact. You can spend weeks fighting that reality, or you can accept it and focus on healing and moving forward. You lost your job. Fighting that fact changes nothing. Accepting it allows you to put energy toward finding a new one. Practice this. When something difficult happens, before you do anything else, practice acceptance, not resignation, not giving up. Just acknowledging what is. This is the situation, this is what I'm working with. Then ask, within this reality, what can I control? What action can I take? Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. You find that peace by accepting what you cannot change and putting your energy toward what you can. This is not weakness. This is the foundation of all mental strength. Because you're no longer wasting energy on impossible battles. You're directing all your power toward battles you can actually win. Lesson 3. Face your fears instead of running. Mental weakness grows in avoidance. Mental strength grows in facing what scares you. Buddha didn't become enlightened by avoiding difficulty. He sat beneath the Bodhi tree and faced everything, his fears, his doubts, his demons, and by facing them, he transcended them. There's a teaching about a young warrior who came to a Zen master. Master, I want to be brave, I want to be fearless. How do I eliminate fear? The master looked at him and said, wrong question. You don't eliminate fear. You change your relationship with it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. The warrior was confused. But I've seen monks who seem fearless. Surely they don't feel fear. The master smiled. Let me tell you a story. A monk was walking through the forest when he encountered a tiger. He ran, the tiger chased. He came to a cliff, grabbed a vine and climbed down. The tiger waited above. He looked down and saw another tiger below. Then he noticed mice gnawing at the vine. In that moment, he saw a strawberry growing from the cliff wall. He picked it and ate it. It was the sweetest strawberry he'd ever tasted. The warrior was confused. I don't understand, wasn't he terrified? Of course he was terrified, the master replied. Fear was present, but he didn't let fear stop him from being present in that moment. He faced his fear, and in that facing, he found life. That's the teaching. Don't avoid what scares you. Face it. Act anyway. This is how mental strength is built. Every time you avoid something because it's uncomfortable, you weaken. Every time you face something despite discomfort, you strengthen. It's that simple. That difficult conversation you're avoiding, every day you delay, you're training weakness. The day you have it, you train strength. That change you need to make, every day you procrastinate, you're building weakness. The day you start, you build strength. Buddha taught that on the other side of your fear is your freedom, but the only way to freedom is through. Not around, not by waiting until you're not scared. Through, while you're scared, despite being scared. Start small. You don't have to face your biggest fear today. But face something. That phone call you're avoiding. That difficult email you need to send, that boundary you need to set. Face one small fear today. Tomorrow, face another. This is how you build mental strength. Not by eliminating fear, but by proving to yourself that you can act despite fear. And here's what you'll discover. The fear never disappears completely, but you get stronger. And as you get stronger, fear has less power over you, not because it's gone, but because you've proven again and again that it can't stop you. This is true mental strength. Lesson 4. Practice self-discipline daily. Buddha taught, the mind is restless, turbulent, strong, and unyielding. I consider it as difficult to control as the wind, but he also taught that through discipline, the mind can be trained. And mental strength begins with self-discipline. Discipline isn't punishment. It's not about being hard on yourself. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's the bridge between your goals and your accomplishment. And it's built through small daily choices. There's a story about a student who asked his master, "How did you develop such discipline?" "You wake early. You meditate daily. You eat simply. You seem to have complete control over your impulses." "I try to be disciplined, but I keep failing." The master replied, "I don't have complete control. Every morning part of me wants to sleep longer. Every meditation part of me wants to get up and do something else. Every simple meal part of me craves rich food. The difference isn't that I don't have those impulses. The difference is that I've practiced choosing differently." "But how?" the student asked. "How do you find the strength to choose differently?" "I don't rely on feeling strong," the master explained. "I rely on my practice. Every day, regardless of how I feel, I do what I committed to do. Some days it's easy, most days it's not. But over time, these daily choices have built a mental strength that makes it easier. Not effortless, but easier. This is the secret of discipline. It's not about motivation. It's not about feeling strong. It's about doing what you said you'd do, regardless of how you feel. Motivation is emotional and fluctuates. Discipline is behavioral and reliable. Start with one non-negotiable daily practice. Maybe it's 5 minutes of meditation. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's exercising for 10 minutes. Something small enough that you can absolutely do it every single day. Then do it, not when you feel like it. Every day. Rain or shine. Motivated or not. Happy or sad. Every single day. This daily practice builds mental strength in 2 ways. First, you're proving to yourself that you can keep commitments. Your self-trust increases. Second, you're training your mind to do things even when it doesn't want to. You're strengthening the part of you that can override impulses and emotions. Buddha said, "If you knew what I know about the power of giving, you would not let a single meal pass without sharing it in some way." The same applies to discipline. If you knew what daily discipline does for your mental strength, you would not let a single day pass without practicing it. So choose your practice. Make it small. Make it non-negotiable. And watch as this one small daily choice transforms your entire mental landscape. Because discipline in one area spreads to other areas. The person who can make their bed every day can handle bigger challenges. The person who meditates daily, even when they don't want to, has mental strength that shows up everywhere in their life. This is not about perfection. You'll miss days. You'll fail. But you get back up and continue. Because mental strength isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Lesson 5. Reframe failure as feedback. Mental weakness sees failure as proof of inadequacy. Mental strength sees failure as information. Buddha tried many paths before finding enlightenment. He didn't see his early attempts as failures. He saw them as necessary steps in his journey. There's a powerful teaching about Thomas Edison that aligns with Buddhist wisdom. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." This is mental strength, not the absence of failure, but a completely different relationship with failure. A young entrepreneur came to a Buddhist teacher after his business failed. "I'm done," he said. "I tried and failed. This proves I'm not meant for this." The teacher asked, "How many times did you fall when you were learning to walk?" The entrepreneur was confused. "I don't know. Many times, I suppose." "And did each fall prove you weren't meant to walk?" "No, of course not." "Then why does this failure prove you're not meant to succeed in business?" The entrepreneur sat in silence. Finally, he spoke. "I never thought of it that way. When I was learning to walk, falling was just part of learning. But now failure feels personal, like it says something about who I am." The teacher nodded. "That's the shift you must make. Failure is not a statement about your worth or potential. It's feedback, data, information about what didn't work so you can try something different. Every monk who has achieved mastery failed thousands of times in practice. The difference between them and those who gave up is simple. They kept practicing. Mentally strong people fail more than weak people. Not because they're worse, but because they try more. They take more risks. They attempt more difficult things. And yes, they fail more. But they see each failure as tuition paid in the university of life. Each failure teaches something that success never could. Practice reframing your relationship with failure. When something doesn't work, instead of "I failed," try "That didn't work. What can I learn? What will I try differently next time?" Instead of "I'm not good enough," try "I'm not there yet, but I'm learning." Instead of "This proves I can't do it," try "This proves I need a different approach." Buddha taught that the path to enlightenment is paved with mistakes, setbacks, and failures. The monks who reached enlightenment aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who never let failure stop them. They extracted the lesson, adjusted their approach, and continued forward. Your mental strength grows every time you fail and choose to get back up. Every time you extract learning instead of shame. Every time you say "not yet" instead of "never." This is how masters are made. Not by avoiding failure, but by failing forward, learning constantly, adjusting continuously. So fail. Fail often. Fail forward. And watch as each failure makes you stronger, wiser, more capable. Because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the path to success. And mentally strong people walk that path without hesitation. Lesson 6. Build resilience through adversity. Buddha taught, difficulties are meant to rouse, not discourage. The human spirit is to grow strong by conflict. Mental strength isn't built in comfort. It's forged in adversity, and the greatest gift you can receive is a challenge that forces you to become stronger. There's a story about two trees. One grew in a perfect greenhouse, protected from wind, rain, and storms. The other grew on a mountain, constantly battered by harsh weather. The greenhouse tree grew quickly, tall and straight, but its wood was soft, its roots shallow. The mountain tree grew slowly, twisted by wind, but its wood was dense, its roots deep, anchoring into the rock itself. One day a terrible storm came. The greenhouse tree, never having faced wind, snapped in half. The mountain tree, which had faced thousands of storms, bent but did not break. When the storm passed, it stood even stronger, its roots having dug deeper during the tempest. A monk used this story to teach a student who was praying for an easy life. "You're praying for the greenhouse," the monk said. "You should be grateful for the mountain. Every difficulty you face is growing roots that will hold you steady when real storms come. Every challenge you overcome builds wood so dense that nothing can break you. The student asked, "But isn't it better to avoid difficulties when we can?" The monk shook his head. "The tree that has never faced wind cannot stand when wind comes. The person who has never faced difficulty cannot handle life's inevitable storms. Resilience is built through resistance, not avoidance. This is a profound truth. The muscles in your body don't grow when you rest. They grow when you stress them through exercise. Your mental strength works the same way. It grows when you face challenges, not when you avoid them. Look at your past. Your darkest moments, your biggest challenges, your greatest pains. Didn't they make you stronger? Didn't you discover capabilities you never knew you had? Didn't you develop depths you couldn't access in easier times? This is the gift of adversity. So when difficulty comes, and it will come, don't waste it. Don't just endure it, use it. Let it deepen your roots. Let it strengthen your core. Let it reveal your true strength. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this making me stronger? What capabilities am I developing right now? Buddha said, pain is certain, suffering is optional. You cannot avoid life's difficulties, but you can choose whether to be destroyed by them or made stronger. Mentally strong people don't waste their suffering. They transform it into strength, wisdom, resilience. Practice this perspective shift when challenges come instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this making possible in me? Instead of, this is too hard, try, this is building strength I'll need later. Instead of, I want this to stop, try, I'm growing through this. You cannot build mental strength in the absence of challenge. So welcome your challenges, not with masochism, not by seeking suffering, but by recognizing that every difficulty is your mind's gymnasium, and you're getting stronger with every rep. Lesson 7. Guard your mental space. Buddha taught, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame. But this doesn't happen automatically. You must actively protect your mental space from influences that weaken you. There's a story about a monk who lived in a monastery, known for its peace and clarity. A visitor asked him, "How do you maintain such tranquility?" The monk replied, "We are very careful about what we allow through the monastery gates. We don't let in anything that disturbs the peace." The visitor looked confused. "But the monastery gates are always open. Anyone can enter." The monk smiled. "I'm not talking about the monastery gates. I'm talking about the gates of my mind. I carefully guard what information I consume, what conversations I engage in, what thoughts I entertain. Just as a gardener doesn't let weeds overtake the garden, I don't let negative influences overtake my mind." He continued, "If I let in constant negativity, constant drama, constant bad news, my mind becomes filled with that. If I surround myself with toxic people, their toxicity seeps into me. If I consume meaningless content all day, my mind becomes cluttered with meaninglessness. So I guard my gates. I'm selective about what enters. This is crucial for mental strength. Your mind is shaped by what you feed it. If you spend hours consuming negative news, engaging in gossip, surrounding yourself with complainers, absorbing toxic social media, your mental strength erodes. Not because you're weak, but because you're not protecting your mental environment. Mentally strong people are ruthless about their mental diet. They limit exposure to news that just feeds anxiety without enabling action. They avoid people who constantly drain their energy. They're selective about social media consumption. They curate their mental environment as carefully as they'd curate their physical environment. This isn't about building walls or avoiding all difficulty. It's about being intentional. Ask yourself, is this input making me stronger or weaker? Is this relationship building me up or tearing me down? Is this content adding value or just cluttering my mind? Buddha taught that your environment shapes you. So create an environment that builds the strength you want. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow. Consume content that educates, inspires, or genuinely entertains. Engage in conversations that matter. Protect your mental space as fiercely as you'd protect your home. Practice this. For 1 week, audit everything that enters your mind. Every conversation, every piece of content, every interaction, notice how each one makes you feel. Does it energize or drain? Strengthen or weaken? Clarify or confuse? Then ruthlessly eliminate what weakens you and increase what strengthens you. Your mental strength is too valuable to be eroded by constant negativity. Guard it, protect it, nurture it. This isn't selfishness. This is self-respect. And it's essential for maintaining the strength you're building. Lesson 8. Develop unshakable self-belief. Buddha taught, "No one saves us but ourselves." No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Mental strength requires deep belief in yourself, not arrogance, not delusion, but genuine trust that you can handle whatever comes. There's a powerful story about a young monk who doubted himself constantly. Before any task, he'd say, "I'm not sure I can do this. I'll probably fail." During meditation, he'd think, "I'm terrible at this. I'll never progress." His self-doubt was so strong it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. His master watched this for months before finally intervening. He gave the young monk a heavy stone and said, "Carry this to the temple at the top of the mountain." The monk looked at the steep path ahead. "Master, I don't think I can carry it that far." "The stone is too heavy. The path is too long." The master said, "Start walking. When you truly cannot continue, stop." The monk began. Every few steps his mind told him, "I can't do this." But he kept walking. His arms burned. His doubts screamed. But he continued. Finally, he reached the top. He'd carried the stone the entire way. The master met him there. "You said you couldn't do it, but you did. Do you see what this teaches? Your doubt was lying to you the entire time. You had the strength. You just didn't believe you had it. Your doubt didn't change your capability. It only changed your confidence." The young monk understood. From that day forward, when doubt arose, he remembered the stone. He remembered that his doubt was often wrong. He began to trust himself more than his doubts. This is mental strength. Not the absence of doubt, but the presence of self-trust that's stronger than doubt. You build this trust the same way the monk did, by proving to yourself again and again that you're more capable than you think. Every time you do something difficult and succeed, you're building evidence. Every time you handle a challenge you thought would break you, you're collecting proof. Every time you keep going when you want to quit and then reach your goal, you're strengthening your self-belief. Start collecting evidence of your strength. Keep a journal of times you were resilient. Write down challenges you've overcome. Remember moments when you surprised yourself with your capability. This isn't ego. This is building a factual case for your own strength. Buddha said, "Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts." Self-doubt is one of those harmful thoughts. Guard against it. Challenge it. Replace it with evidence-based self-trust. Practice this affirmation, not as empty words, but as a reminder of truth. I have handled every difficult thing in my life so far. I have survived every challenge. I've made it through every storm. I am stronger than I think. I am more capable than I believe. I will handle whatever comes. This isn't blind optimism. This is factual. You're still here. You've survived 100% of your worst days. You've overcome every obstacle up to this point. That's proof. That's evidence. That's reason to trust yourself. Build your self-belief through action, through evidence, through proving to yourself repeatedly that you are capable. And watch as that unshakable belief becomes the foundation of your mental strength. Lesson 9. Master emotional regulation. Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Mental strength requires the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them, to feel without being swept away. There's a teaching about two monks walking by a river. They saw a scorpion drowning. The first monk reached in to save it, but the scorpion stung him. He pulled back in pain. A moment later, he reached for the scorpion again. Again it stung him. This happened several times until he finally pulled the scorpion to safety. His companion asked, "Why do you keep trying to save it when it keeps stinging you?" The first monk replied, "It is the nature of the scorpion to sting, but it is my nature to save. Should I change my nature just because the scorpion won't change its nature?" This story teaches emotional mastery. The monk felt pain from the stings, but he didn't let the pain control his actions. He experienced the emotion without being ruled by it. This is mental strength. Mentally weak people are at the mercy of their emotions. Angry, they lash out. Sad, they shut down. Anxious, they avoid. Scared, they quit. Their emotions are driving the car and they're just passengers. Mentally strong people feel all these emotions, but they remain in the driver's seat. They choose their actions despite their emotions, not because of them. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. That's not strength. That's repression, and it creates different problems. Instead, it means acknowledging your emotions while maintaining your ability to choose your response. The practice is this: when strong emotion arises, pause before acting. Notice, I'm feeling angry right now. Anxiety is present. Sadness is here. Label it. Acknowledge it. Let yourself feel it fully, but don't act from it automatically. Create space between feeling and action. Buddha taught a technique. When emotion arises, focus on the physical sensation. Where in your body do you feel anger? Chest, jaw, stomach? Notice the sensation without the story. Emotion is energy moving through your body. When you separate the physical sensation from the mental story, you can experience it without being overwhelmed by it. Practice this throughout your day. When frustration arises, pause. Feel where it is in your body. Notice the sensation without judgment. Breathe into it. Watch it intensify, peak, and then naturally begin to fade. Because all emotions do this. They arise, they peak, they pass. When you stop resisting them or acting from them, they move through you naturally. This creates mental strength because now your emotions don't control you. You experience them, learn from them, but you choose your actions based on your values, not your momentary feelings. A simple practice. Before responding to anything emotional, take 3 breaths. 3 conscious breaths create just enough space for your rational mind to come back online. This doesn't eliminate emotion. It ensures you're not being controlled by it. Buddha said, "Akama, the mind is like water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to see. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. Master your emotional reactions and you master your mind." This is true mental strength. Lesson 10. Build your daily practice. Everything we've discussed means nothing without consistent practice. Mental strength, like physical strength, requires daily training. Buddha didn't become enlightened through understanding alone. He practiced daily, consistently, for years. There's a final teaching from an old monk who was asked the secret of his incredible mental strength. He said, "I wake up every morning and I do what I committed to do, regardless of how I feel, regardless of what happened yesterday, regardless of what might happen today. I follow my practice." "What is your practice?" someone asked. "Every morning I meditate. I set my intentions. I remind myself of my values. Throughout the day when challenges come, I pause, breathe, and choose my response. Every evening I reflect on the day. Where was I strong? Where could I improve?" This simple practice, done every single day for 50 years, has built the strength you see. The questioner was disappointed. "That's it? That seems too simple." The monk smiled. "Simple, yes. Easy, no. The power isn't in the complexity of the practice. The power is in doing it every single day. Most people know what to do. They just don't do it consistently. Consistency is the secret. Time plus consistent practice equals transformation. So let's build your mental strength practice. 5 simple elements, each taking just minutes, that compound into extraordinary strength. First, morning intention. Before you check your phone, before you start your day, take 2 minutes. Set your intention. Today I will respond, not react. Today I will face one thing I'm avoiding. Today I will practice discipline in this one area. Specific, clear, achievable. Second, mindful breathing. 3 times throughout your day, take 3 conscious breaths. Morning, midday, evening. This anchors you, interrupts autopilot, builds present moment awareness. Third, face one uncomfortable thing. Every single day, do something uncomfortable. Have the difficult conversation. Do the workout you don't want to do. Make the call you're avoiding. Small daily discomfort builds massive strength over time. Fourth, evening reflection. Before sleep, 5 minutes. What challenged you today? How did you respond? Where were you strong? Where could you improve? No judgment. Just observation and learning. Fifth, gratitude for challenges. End each day by naming one difficulty and what it taught you or how it strengthened you. This reframes adversity as training. That's it. Maybe 20 minutes total per day, but done consistently. These 5 practices will build mental strength that seems impossible right now. Not because any single day is dramatic, but because consistency compounds. Day after day, week after week, month after month. You're building, building, building. Buddha taught a jug fills drop by drop. Your mental strength fills the same way, not through dramatic one-time events, but through small, consistent daily practices that accumulate into extraordinary strength. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Even if you only do one of these 5 elements, do it today. Then again tomorrow. Build the habit before you build the strength, because the habit is what creates the strength. And here's what you'll discover. After a month, you'll notice changes. After 3 months, others will notice. After a year, you'll be unrecognizable, not because you became a different person, but because you became the strongest version of yourself. And that strength was always there. You just had to build it day by day, choice by choice, practice by practice. Conclusion. So here are your 10 Buddhist teachings to build unshakable mental strength. Mental strength is built through practice, not born. Accept what you cannot change. Focus on what you can. Face your fears instead of avoiding them. Practice self-discipline daily in small ways. Reframe every failure as valuable feedback. Build resilience by using adversity as training. Guard your mental space ruthlessly. Develop unshakable self-belief through evidence. Master emotional regulation. Don't suppress a mess. Build a daily practice and never break it. These aren't just concepts to understand. They're practices to live. Buddha didn't teach philosophy. He taught a way of being. And that way builds minds that cannot be broken. You don't need to be perfect at all 10. Start with 1. Maybe it's accepting what you cannot change. Maybe it's facing one small fear each day. Maybe it's 5 minutes of morning intention setting. Pick one practice and commit to it this week. Mental strength isn't about never struggling. It's about knowing you can handle the struggle. It's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. And the beautiful truth is this: you're already stronger than you think. You've survived every difficult day you've ever had. You've made it through challenges you thought would break you. You're still here, still standing, still capable of growth. Now it's time to build on that foundation, to take the natural resilience you already have and strengthen it through deliberate practice, to become not just someone who survives, but someone who thrives regardless of circumstances. Buddha said, 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Your strength is like that. It's already there. These practices just reveal it, develop it, make it unshakable. So start today. Choose your practice, commit to it, and watch as day by day, choice by choice, challenge by challenge, you become the mentally strong person you were always meant to be. Not someday, not when life gets easier, now through practice. through consistency, through the decision to build strength instead of waiting to feel strong. Life will test you. That's guaranteed. But when you've built true mental strength, those tests become opportunities. Those challenges become training. Those storms become proof that nothing can break you. This is the path. Not comfortable but transformative. Not easy but absolutely worth it. Not quick but permanent. If these teachings resonated with you, share them with someone who needs this strength. Subscribe for more wisdom and comment below, which practice will you start today? Until we meet again, stay strong. Stay committed. Stay unbreakable. Your challenges are your training. Your difficulties are your teachers. Your struggles are building the strength you'll need tomorrow. And remember, you've never faced a challenge you couldn't handle. You've overcome every obstacle so far, and you'll overcome whatever comes next. Because you're not just surviving anymore, you're building strength. And nothing can stop someone who's truly mentally strong. Namaste.